I did not know how messy this was. We have to talk about WB, and we have to talk about the drama with WB. Now, we've talked about Snyder and all the previous regimes and the back and forth. I feel like it's always something. It's always something. And I'm starting to get to the point where I think that whatever's going on with WB, like it must be a curse on just the name, because we can't sit here and say it's the same people. They've literally changed executives, they've changed CEOs, they've changed personnel constantly. It's been so many different people that have been running WB. And now we have David Zaslav. He's the new boss of WB, right? And you would think when you get new people in charge, different outcomes would happen. That's the expectation, right? Oh, man, y'all were sinking the ship. All right, cool. We gonna come in and right that ship. Have y'all heard about the Coyote versus Acme movie? This is apparently a movie. It was going to be a live action Wile E. Coyote Road Runner movie or whatever. I believe John Cena was in this movie and all that. And it was just like, look, I didn't even want to report on it because I was like, whatever. It's just a movie, just whatever. It's just a random movie, right? Looney Tunes. And apparently, this movie got more drama than Batgirl had. Y'all remember what happened with Batgirl? Batgirl tested the same way, so with the same rating as Black Adam, but according to Peter Safran and James Gunn and David Zaslav, Batgirl was just unwatchable. It was just we can't do this. We can't. Now, Batgirl was supposed to be something straight for streaming, but Zaslav wanted to go back to theaters, which is great. But if you could put Black Adam that tested the same as Batgirl in the theaters, but you couldn't do Batgirl, something's not right. And y'all were the same people. Zaslav said this too, that The Flash was one of the greatest superhero movies he ever saw. And that flopped. So once again, the math ain't mathing with these folks, okay? But the Coyote movie was something that was interesting here because it's basically gotten the Batgirl treatment all over again. Okay. So this movie was put out there, it was tried, it was tested, and all that stuff, right? But I want to go through this story because it has so many twists and turns. So it says here the studio once again decided to axe another completed film, Coyote versus Acme. So once again, this movie was done, it was wrapped up, and they decided to cancel it. Okay. It says here, this live action animation hybrid, so think Roger Rabbit, starring John Cena, originally intended for HBO Max before it was given a theatrical release date of July 21st. The Hollywood Reporter learned the studio would can the entire $70 million project and use it as an estimated $30 million write-off. Here we go again with these write-offs. A source tells Rolling Stone that the director, Dave Green, and top producers were only informed after WB already underwent the process of writing off the movie. So, in other words, they literally made the movie, and then they only found out after WB signed the dotted line that they was going to write this off, that this movie was never going to make it. So they blindsided the people that worked their tails off on this movie just out of nowhere. Sound familiar, right? It sounds like Batgirl all over again. Now, let's not forget, WB did have some financial issues and all of that. So that's why they can Batgirl, so that they can get these tax write-offs and make their numbers look better. But it gets worse. Let's go. The studio publicly blamed the decision on a shift in global strategy to shift to theatrical releases. But The film was testing positively with audiences, 14 points above the norm for a family film. Warner Brothers is a mess, according to a source. They obviously are carrying this staggering debt. They probably have certain minimums and obligations they must owe their creditors, which are motivating them to make bizarre choices. They're just not in sync with how the business has been run. It's devilishly destructive. Okay, so that's the first thing, right? They blindsided the creators, they wrote off the movie, and they basically are treating this like another Batgirl, even though this tested very well. All right, it gets worse. It gets worse. After the decision to do that, to can it, woo, boy, they had to change their mind real fast. It says here, after that decision was made, the studio will now reverse course. It will now allow the director to shop his live action animation hybrid movie to other potential buyers instead of shelving the project for a tax write off. And it says Amazon is now a contender. Now, why did this happen? Because the directors, once they found out what was going on, the news started to come out, and this was not a good look for WB at all. But oh my gosh, it gets so messy. Here we go. A group of filmmakers with business at the studio started a text chain, a support group of sorts, to share their hopes and their anxieties about WB, as well as encouragement and tips for navigating the studios. The one question all of them had was, what was going on with their movies? So after the Coyote and Acme news broke last week, several filmmakers instructed their reps to cancel meetings that they had on the books with WB. But now that Coyote may ultimately find a new home, these filmmakers are taking a wait and see approach. Wow. WB almost effed around and found out. So, in other words, when they saw how they treated the Batgirl directors, and now how they saw that they were treating these Coyote directors, they sitting here saying, like, well, if you could do it to them and you could do it to them, what you gonna do to us? And I love the fact that these filmmakers all came together and they started to basically act like, yo, we need to really figure this out. We don't like how WB is doing their business. Pull them contracts. Yeah, that movie that I said I was going to do for them, nah, pull that. We not going to run this with them. Love it. I love it when people stand together to fight for a common cause. Let's go. We got some more in there. We got some more. It said here, unlike Batgirl, Coyote and Acme was fully completed. So Batgirl was not completed and they scrapped it. But Coyote and Acme was fully completed and had tested multiple times in the 90s. The 90s. If you need an idea of what a 90s test score is like, that was like the Oscar best winner Argo. Both Deadpool movies tested in the 90s. The first Conjuring movie tested in the 90s. That's what this movie was equivalent to. According to sources who have seen the film, Coyote versus Acme is a popcorn style crowd pleaser. Now, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Y'all said that Batgirl, which was not finished yet, tested the same as Black Adam. Black Adam, if I'm not mistaken, tested in the 70s. The 70s. And y'all ran with Black Adam. But this movie tested in the 90s? Y'all gonna scrap the 90s? Do you know how many movies get test screenings that wish they could get up to the 90s? Deadpool, The Conjuring, Argo, and it's more. There is still a planned funeral screening. Y'all remember the funeral screening? That's what they did with Batgirl this week at Warner Brothers, according to sources. Remember, the funeral screening is what they did with Batgirl. Basically, they said, hey, everybody, come on in. We're going to let y'all see this movie. And after that, it's done for. It's over with. So they said that they were going to do a funeral screening for it. Now, the director, part of Duffield's, who was Duffield? He was the director of No One Will Save You. Part of his frustration said that David Green did everything that was asked of him. He delivered the film. He hit the right test scores. He even moved away from his friends and family to London for 18 months to save the studio money on post-production costs. All of this just to see the movie get run off a cliff. And he's, this other director says that Coyote can make money, certainly more than what the tax write-off is. Wow. So this guy spent a year and a half of his life, moved away from his friends and family. He gave the studio the movie that they wanted. He tried to save them all the money, and it tested well, and they still was going to write them off. Why would anyone want to work for these people? Imagine giving everything, sacrificing for a job, and they say, yeah, okay, hey, Johnson, hey, Judy, this work you did is great. We're not going to use it. I know you spent a long time on it. I know it came out very well. Our clients love it, but we're not going to use it. Thanks, though. What? So we have more news that the screening happened. The screening happened earlier this week. And according to sources that saw the screening, it drew a huge applause at the end, and it had wall-to-wall laughs during it. Lord and Miller, y'all remember Lord and Miller? The guys that gave us the Spider-Verse movies? Miller said, I saw Coyote versus Acme, and it's delightful. Funny, charming, good physical comedy timing, and a surprising amount of heart. I hope several studios go after it so the world can see all the good work people did. Once again, this is coming from one half of the people that gave you the Lego movies, people that gave you the Spider-Verse movies. I would listen to them. I trust their opinion on stuff. Now, the other half from Phil Lord, he said Coyote versus Acme is wonderful. The director nails it. Hilarious, smart, existential, and moving, and moves this all-time character more relevant than ever. And it goes on and on and on of filmmakers and other people that went to this funeral screening and they saw this movie and they was like, yo, this movie's good. When I tell you, that's still not the end of this drama. I'm sitting here thinking like, okay, here we go. WBN, they doing all this drama. They got this good movie. They trying to be greedy and all of this stuff. I didn't expect this twist to come. I didn't expect it was going to get to this point. Y'all, WB done messed up so much. They done acted so sus with all their actions. They done got the ops involved. Y'all, I couldn't make this up. You got Congress now asking for a federal investigation because of your actions. A congressman is calling for a federal investigation of WB for its handling of Coyote versus Acme. Texas Representative Joaquin Castro. He said here in the tweet, the WBD tactic of scrapping fully made films for tax breaks is predatory and anti-competitive, as the Justice Department and the FTC revise their antitrust guidelines, they should review this conduct. As someone remarked, it's like burning down a building for the insurance money. Wow. Wow. You know, you got to be a special kind of messy to get the attention of Congress. And let me be very clear. I don't get very political or nothing on here, but Congress is messy in itself. Congress got its own messes to deal with, but y'all got so messy. You know how stinky you got to be to get somebody else stinky to say you stink? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is so messy that you got other messy folks saying, y'all messy. Golly, this is why I was late, because I was watching all this stuff and I was reading this. And I was like, this just got worse and worse and worse and worse. Y'all finna get a federal investigation on a movie studio? Wow. Wow. All right, so that's all we got for the WB Best today. Like, as the world turns, like, this is how many times do we constantly have DC or WB mess to talk about? Like, I don't be looking for that. Like, y'all just can't be at peace. Y'all just can't be a regular old studio and just make some moves, make some movies, make some TV shows. Just be cool. What do you think about this entire Coyote? This feels like a cartoon. It feels like a crazy cartoon right now. What do y'all think about this Coyote versus Acme drama? Whatever the hell's going on with Acme, whatever you think, please let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, because wow.
Thank you so much for watching. This was just a segment of one of my live chats, and if you're interested in joining in on the next one, be sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications for more. I've got more videos and reviews to do for you all, and until next time, I'll see you all later.